I'm curious to dig deeper into your writing about, I guess, his mentality and his approach to leadership, because you wrote earlier this year that the brutal war in Tigray is not an isolated case, and this represents Abiy's leadership style, this control, ruthlessly trying to centralize power since he came back into power in 2018. How does that square with A, him winning a Nobel Peace Prize, and B, what the daily reality is like for Ethiopians today?
Well, the two things are very separate. The Prime Minister has introduced a leadership style in which is very much in favor of centralized power structure. Now, Ethiopia is a country for the last 3 decades that has exercised a semi-autonomous regional state federalism system that the Constitution refers to as a multinational federalism, whereby the regional states exercise, to a certain extent, a certain degree, some autonomy over what kind of governing system that they follow. So the Prime Minister came into power, and his favorite mode of governing was more of a centralized system, and that was really flying in the face of that arrangement, that last political settlement Ethiopia had in 1991. So resistance was emerging already. The Tigray regional state is just the massive one, or the one that's the most visible. This resistance has started already in Oromia regional state, for example, with the pushback for against the Prime Minister. The Nobel Peace Prize was not given to him for the kind of governing style that he was introducing. It was given to him for the wrong reason of the so-called peace process that he brought between Ethiopia and Eritrea in breaking the 20-year stalemate of no peace and no war. But the thing with that is no one knows about that peace agreement. For example, the Ethiopian parliament has never approved anything of that peace process. So Ethiopian people don't know anything about what is included in that peace. So the peace process has hinged between the two leaders in Asmara and in Addis Ababa, which eventually, and the Tigrayan authorities were against it from the very beginning because it did not involve them as a regional state that's largely sharing the border with Eritrea. It really absolutely isolated them. So that peace award was given to him for the so-called peace with Eritrea, which ended up being not peace, but sort of an alliance against the Tigrayan forces. So these two things are very much against, in the center of the Prime Minister's, tragic failure of putting Ethiopia into the path of a democratic transition as he was expected.
Tsedale, and we just have our final few moments here. I'm just curious, in his past 3 years in power, has he made life easier, better for the Ethiopian people?
It depends on who you are asking. The Prime Minister has a base, a sort of like now it's been refining itself as the blood and soil nationalist basis. He has that fervent supporters that see life as nothing but a very much comfortable zone to be in as compared to the EPRDF. But then there are also people, for example, in Oromia regional state where he comes from, where the war that we see in Tigray today has originally originated from in Oromia regional state. Life has not gotten any better. Thousands of young people are in prison as we speak. Young people are being dragged out of the prison and being killed, executed for no reason and no investigation. We have witnessed an execution of a young man in broad daylight. This happened under the watch of the Prime Minister. Has life gotten better for these people? I'll be very much hard pressed to say yes. Life is also getting very much tough for independent journalists like my colleagues or any other people who want to criticize the Prime Minister. So it depends on who you are asking. He still has his base who are not really willing to listen to any dissenting voices, any critics of the Prime Minister. And then you have people who are living under constant fear and, in fact, under a brutal war under his watch. So,
it is a
yeah.
brutal war and a fast-moving conflict, and we appreciate your time so much in helping explain where we are, where things stand now, and possibly where they could go in the future. Tsedale, thank you so much. We appreciate it.